friends, today we are going to speak about familiars, and this is basically some of my friends have requested this video for familiars. So this video is going to only give a brief overview of familiars. I will not be going into any specific familiar or and describing any specific familiar. This will only help you to understand what familiars are and how we can make use of them for our account. At the end of this video, you should be able to know which familiar you want for your account and how you will be developing that familiar. Alright, so let's begin this familiar overview. I will not be explaining these buildings. I assume you know these buildings, and I assume you know how many quantities of these buildings you should have. As you can see, I have not at all developed this familiar side. My buildings are very underdeveloped. That is because I was concentrating on unlocking my T4, which I have just done a couple of days ago. So for the familiar, you will require to come to this building. This is the monster hold. In monster hold, you will see all the familiars that you already have. Alright, you will see all the familiars that you have already at your end, and these pacts that you make, see these pacts over here. You can see how many pacts you have of which stage, and you will require to start using these pacts. So let's unlock some packs and see where we are as of now. Okay, there we go. uh, See these familiars, I will explain it this way. I will take one familiar for example. Let's go over here for that matter, Griffin. Okay, now you see familiars are basically uh, you can say small monsters or monsters that will help you in your account. Okay, now there are stages. Okay, three main stages of a familiar. You have the hatchling, you have the adult stage, and you have the elder stage. You can see this hatchling. When the familiar starts, when you get a new familiar, it is in the hatchling stage. Okay, then you need to develop it and upgrade it to an adult stage, and after adult you need to upgrade it to an elder stage. You can see these two are locked as of now. So how do we upgrade this familiar? For that, you will have to collect these, you can say, medals or runes. In familiar they are called runes, for heroes they are called as medals. Okay, so how will you get these medals? You will be getting these medals once you start your pacts. Okay, you need to come over here in this building, that is the Mystic Spire, and you will be requiring to come over here for pacts, and you can go to, let's say for example, pack 3, which is I am working on as of now, and pack 3, pack 2, pack 1, this you will have to unlock in uh, your academy, in your research. So I will not go into that. I am assuming you know how to unlock your packs in research. So let's just say if I am working on pack 3, so here you will come to know which familiars are present in pack 3. Okay, out of this, that is why I was not explaining about the familiars in detail. I will touch base on this, out of this which familiars you can go for. But let's go back to what we were discussing about the stages. Okay, so here you come again, and we were speaking with this familiar. Okay, so here what happens is, for each stage, let's say for hatchling, you have got a skill. There is a skill associated with each stage. Okay, so for example, at adult stage you have got this particular skill, which will give training boost, and then at elder stage you have got this particular skill called as homeward bind, which will recall all your troops within X number of seconds. You can see this. records all your troops at X number of seconds. Within that time, immediately the troops can come fast at home, and it will tell you very clearly where this skill will be unlocked at elder stage, this homeward bind, and this training skill will be unlocked at adult stage. Okay, so here you need to be upgrading your familiar. You can see this, you will be requiring 20 runes. Okay, see, it clearly mentions use runes to enhance your familiar and increase their max level. Okay, so you will have to have runes. For heroes they are called as medals, for familiars they are called as runes. So you will have to collect the runes, and you will be getting your runes from this pacts that we had done in the beginning. You saw over here you had those packs, and then you use those packs, and then I got some medals over here. Okay, for example, over here I have got two runes. Okay, not medals, two runes. Now I need to collect 20 of these runes to upgrade this from an hatchling to an adult stage. At the same time, each stage has got their own skill which I mentioned, and the skill also have their own level. Do not confuse this level with this level. Okay, this is the level of your familiar. Okay, so when you say this level and this level, these are two very different levels. This level which is for the skill is basically dependent on this for hatchling. Okay, hatchling level 1 skill level will be 3 as of now. So if I want to increase that skill level, I also can use the runes. Okay, for that also runes are used, which means you will have to plan. If I use my runes now, the skill level will increase. That means I will be able to have from 10,000 I can have max allied army. That is the reinforcement they are speaking about, that we get reinforcement. So instead of 10,000 extra over and above what I have already got with my research and with my unlocking of my embassy, I will be getting more 10,000 right now, but if I increase this I will be getting 15,000. So that is what it means. So you'll have to plan. If I have to upgrade this familiar skill, okay, this is about skill. Okay, see, it clearly mentions upgrade skill. If I upgrade the skill level, I will be getting this benefit from 10,000 to 15,000. Likewise, if I use the runes over here, my familiar will remain as an hatchling. So I have to decide if I want to make this familiar as an adult, so I can get this skill also. That is, in this particular case, the next skill is for training. So if I want the training boost skill of this particular familiar, then I should not be using those runes to upgrade the first skill. Then I should be waiting and collecting my runes, so I can use this second skill also, which is only available at the adult stage. So this I have explained to you what a stage is and what the skills are for each stage. Now this level, okay, this particular level is the level of your familiar. You can see it can say max level 20. So for stage hatchling, I can only upgrade this familiar to 20. Right now it is 18. So I should be able to upgrade it only up to 20. After 20, this I will have to ensure that the stage of this familiar becomes an adult. So keep that in mind also. Okay, so that is how you will be able to upgrade your familiars, and that is how you can make sense of the familiar stages and levels. Don't get confused. A lot of people get confused over here. So I hope I've explained it in detail, what this familiar level is, what this stage is, how to stage, how to upgrade your stages, that is from hatchling to adult to elder, and what the skills are at different stages. And there are two kinds of levels. One is for the skill level, which is different, and one is for the level of your familiar, which is different. You can also upgrade this with your items that you have. Okay, so if you come over here, you see this, you have got these items. You can use these items and you can upgrade your usables. You can use this and you can upgrade your familiar. Okay, now there is something called as a army talent of a familiar. Okay, let us come from skills to army talent over here. This is what you can use this familiar for at war. Okay, during war, if you can send your familiar with your army, there are familiar slots also. I have unlocked one slot for my familiar, so if you can just I'll show it to you this way. So let's go to the battle hall, and if I say battalion, okay, let's not show this battalion. Let's see if I can show it. Okay, not this one. Okay, let's just come over here through research if I can show that familiar. Okay, see familiar battles. Okay, see familiar battle slot 1. I have not touched this tree familiar battles. Right now I am not upgrading my familiars for army. That I will plan to do so soon, but not right now. There are other more important things that I have prioritized. So this will give you one battle slot for the familiar. All right, so on the wall also, this will give me one battle slot. You can see this station 5 or 6, that is 5 heroes and one familiar. So you can see this familiar slot. This is how you will be getting your familiar slots for defense. There are in total 5 familiar slots, and similarly as in defense you can get for your army attack also. You can send 5 familiars with your army, which I have not yet activated or unlocked. I have got just one slot. So we were talking exactly about this, about the familiars which will go into battle, whether in defense or in attack. Okay, so how to do that? So for that matter, again let us take this example of Griffin. This army talent, if you see, first notice this. Okay, enhance to elder stage to awaken. That means this army talent, you will require your familiar to be of elder stage. Now we know that what stages are: hatchling, adult and elder. So this familiar will be requiring to go to adult stage. Okay, only then you can unlock this army talent. Now if you want to know what this familiar, what army talent it has, you can click on this. Okay, this lock, if you click on it, you will get to know what army talent it has. The army talent name is Tailwind, and here it will give you a description. That means it will increase your army attack by 50%. Army attack is all three: infantry, range and cavalry. All of three, 50% it will increase for 4 seconds. Okay, that is in the beginning, but when you go across at level 60, okay, at that time, and once you start upgrading the skill, which we have already seen how to upgrade the skill, so ultimately when it is maxed out, it will increase the army attack by 200% for 10 seconds. Okay, under this condition, when 10% of your troops have fallen. All right, so this is how you can see what the army benefit will be of this particular familiar, and then you decide. Okay, that is another important point which I wanted to touch base. uh, you will not be able to compare familiars, because familiars have got different talents. Okay, familiars have got different benefits and usages also. There are some familiars which will give you a different usage, and some familiar which will give you another different usage. For example, harpy. Okay, now this harpy, I have upgraded it to the adult stage because I was very interested in this. Okay, in the shelter capacity. Okay, I wanted to increase this. So depending upon what your objectives are, okay, and I'll keep on upgrading harpy in between sometimes, because I want to have maximum shelter capacity. Okay, so it depends on what your objectives are. If you have a certain objective, like some people may want to go in for Colosseum also, they really like playing Colosseum entries. So for that, if I'm not mistaken, there is this particular bonehead familiar. You see this, ready to rumble. This particular skill will give you more entries, colosseum entries, that is 3 colosseum entries as of now, but the skill is only at level 1. If I upgrade this, I will be getting more colosseum entries and the cooldown period will come down. See, now it is 2 days, and once I upgrade this to the next level, the cooldown period will come down to 1 day 18 hours. So there is this benefit. If you are really interested in Colosseum, if you really want to play Colosseum, you can use this particular bonehead familiar and keep on upgrading. You will get more and more entries over there. So depending upon what you want for your own account, some people may want, let's say, I think this is for the stone. So if you want to have stone production to be really good, if you have got a lot of stone quarries and you want to have stone production really good, you should concentrate on this familiar. Okay, this familiar will give you increase in stone production boost. Okay, so you decide, and then this will also give you construction also. Okay, so or rather the help bar for ongoing construction. So you see this help bar, uh, I'll show you the help bar also. Let's come over here, and you see this help bar. So when I was building this manor, this help bar was 0. Okay, now this comes in handy when you are doing those hell events. Okay, when people take some time to give the help, and this help bar does matter a lot. Okay, it will take down 30% of your time. So let's say if there are let's say one day 24 hours, so 30% of 24 hours will reduce with this maximum help bar. You don't need to wait for people to give you help. If you can come over here, you see this over here, you can use this. If I use this, max out the help bar for ongoing construction, so I can use this and instantly my help bar will be maxed out. You see this, we spoke first about the colosseum entries. So if I want to increase my colosseum entries, I use this and I get 3 more colosseum entries. Okay, so these are how you can use your familiar support skill. These are called as support skills. Okay, assistance, economies and support skills. Over here, see, it says support skills. You can use your familiar support skills, and this is how you can get those benefits. All right, so this is basically an overview of familiars. Again, I will come here. You can decide, different familiars have got different benefits in the game. Okay, I will encourage you to go to each familiar and see what the familiar gives. For example, if you click on this familiar, okay, here you can get to know what the familiar is all about. All right, and if you wish to know what this familiar gives, then you'll have to go through in detail about this. Okay, click on this. Okay, I'll show it to you once again. Go to your monster hold. You have already unlocked this familiar, let's say Gemin Gremlin. Okay, go to Gemin Gremlin. Now you can see the skills it provides. Okay, this particular familiar provides construction speed. Alright, so if you wish to have your construction speed increase, concentrate on this familiar and increase this skill. Okay, so if you have got runes over here, which I have as of now, one rune is required. I have 17 runes. So if I just click on this, my skill will be increased. But what I also want to do is, I want to get a benefit of this particular familiar's adult stage also skill. So I am thinking of just having more runes over here, maybe 3 more runes, and I will get this to adult, and then after that I'll start increasing this construction skill of this familiar. Okay, uh, yes, see, you will be getting gems. This familiar, if you get early on in the game, it will be beneficial to you because you will be requiring a lot of gems to unlock your T4 troops. But after the T4 troops are unlocked, the gems don't have immediate value as such. or rather their value diminishes and decreases as such, because there is not much of those things that you require the gems for, which are as a showstopper. So once you unlock your T4, this skill is not extremely important as it was before unlocking the T4. So this will help you if you are lucky enough to get this earlier in the game, like maybe when you are castle 23, and if you can, just rush towards pack 3 and unlock this, and then concentrate on this, because some time, okay, some decent amount of days, months will go till you unlock this elder stage and unlock this skill to get the benefit of this skill of gems. Okay, but this is always good to have. Gems are always good to have. All I'm saying is just stressing the importance of getting the skill before you uh, unlock your T4. If you get this skill before you unlocking T4, then it will benefit a lot. So decide upon this, how to go about this. I will not be spoon feeding you, I'm so sorry. I will not be telling you, okay, go for this familiar and this is the best familiar, and go for this particular familiar for war, that is the best familiar for war. No, I will not do that, simply because you have got your account in a separate, in a different objective or in a different manner, and other people will be having their accounts in a different manner. So I've given an example, let's say for cavalry. Okay, if you really like cavalry, if you prefer cavalry, then you can go in for necros. Okay, because once you unlock this at your adult stage, the skill is, it will increase cavalry attack. You see this cavalry attack, it will increase. All right. So likewise, you will have to see which familiar gives what benefit. Okay, and accordingly you can go. For example, this mole shaman, okay, at adult stage it will give you infantry attack. I suggest, okay, it is my suggestion, you have one familiar for cavalry, one familiar for infantry, and one familiar for range. I have shown you for cavalry and infantry. Likewise, you can find out for yourself which familiar will be for range, and you can use that familiar. So whenever you are attacking, let's say with cavalry troops, and you have got this necros that we just saw, okay, this one, where is that necros, see this one, okay, so you can include this in the battle slot and this will give you cavalry attack. Okay, that is in the beginning. Okay, so once you start developing your familiars, once you start concentrating your familiars, you will know which familiar you want in your battles, as each one of them give different benefits in battle. So I've given you brief overview how to use the familiar, and I invite you to explore these familiars. Okay, explore these familiars, see which familiars give what kind of benefits, and then you can start using them. Then you can decide which familiar you want to upgrade, because these familiars do take a time. Okay, they take decent amount of time to upgrade. For example, if you go for trickster, okay, and see, this is the ranged attack that we were speaking about. So you see there are three familiars which I just shown you, one for cavalry, one for infantry, and one for range. So you decide which one you want. I suggest you upgrade each at least one. Okay, for infantry one, for range one, and for cavalry one. At least upgrade one for each familiar, and take it further from there on. All right. I think I've given a brief overview of familiars, so hopefully you know which familiar you want and which familiar you should be upgrading, and your approach to upgrading the familiars. In case you need something more specific, do let me know in the comment section. I shall make a video accordingly for that. This video is quite a long video now, so I will just stop recording. But do let me know in the comment section if you want some other topics also, then I will certainly make videos on that. Alright, till then, thank you.